Tonight, storms racing across the country, already disrupting Memorial Day plans. It could be the busiest Memorial Day weekend ever, with 45 million Americans traveling, but a nearly equal number of Americans are under weather alerts as the holiday kicks off. Severe weather stretching across the center of the country, from Austin, Texas to Chicago. Strong tornadoes and large hail are possible. That system then moving into the northeast on Monday. Plus, 2 American missionaries were murdered in Haiti Thursday, just as Kenya's president promised to send more police forces to the gang-plagued country. ABC News talks one-on-one with Kenya's President Ruto, who's at the White House for discussions with President Biden about what more can be done to quell the violence in Haiti. And who would have thought of pairing a rock and roll Hall of Famer with a comedic actor? And that would lead to a headline-grabbing new book. Michael McDonald, the platinum singer-songwriter and Grammy winner, has teamed up with his friend, actor-comedian Paul Reiser. Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Gutman in for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories and much more, including the good news for one American father sentenced in Turks and Caicos for bringing ammunition into the country. He's been held for more than 100 days. So what does it mean for the other Americans there jailed on similar charges? Plus, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin undergoing a scheduled medical procedure. But unlike the fiasco from this past winter, the Pentagon making it public ahead of time, and Austin temporarily handing duties to his deputy. And the NCAA, for the first time in its history, allowing student athletes to get paid for playing. The proposed agreement has the NCAA allocating millions to every school in the 5 largest athletic conferences to then distribute among the athletes. But we begin with the severe storm threat that, as we head into the weekend, is shaping up to be a record Memorial holiday weekend. 45 million Americans are under weather alerts, with severe weather now stretching from Austin, Texas to Chicago and pushing into the Northeast on Monday. That weather threat comes as a record high of more than 38 million people are expected to be driving this weekend, and the airports are bracing for major crowds. The TSA says it's prepared to screen a record number at security checkpoints this holiday. We'll get the latest on the holiday weekend forecast in just a moment, but first to the record numbers hitting the roads and the skies. Here's ABC's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, severe weather once again threatening the plans of millions of travelers trying to get away for the holiday. The past 24 hours, a relentless stretch of more than 300 storm reports from Texas to Maine, including more than 24 reported tornadoes. This monstrous multi-vortex EF2 spotted southwest of Oklahoma City with winds of 120 miles an hour. But the threatening weather is not stopping people from packing airports coast to coast.
Were you expecting all the travelers here today?
Not at 6 in the morning, I wasn't.
So there are lines here at Newark, but they're really moving them through. In fact, TSA says yesterday they screened nearly 2.9 million people at their checkpoints. That makes it their second busiest day ever.
And United Director of Operations John Wygan says today is expected to be their busiest day ever.
We've been planning for it for months.
Yeah.
We've known it's going to happen, and praying for good weather.
Also praying for good weather, the 38.4 million people on the roads for their holiday trip, with storms targeting major cities tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, and a flood threat for the Northeast Monday. Millions will be keeping their eyes on the skies.
And Matt, the worst of the traffic should be over for today, but you can expect some serious congestion basically all afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Matt.
Trevor, thank you. Those severe storms will be on the move through Memorial Day. Let's get right to WABC meteorologist Jeff Smith with a look at what to expect. What do you got, Jeff?
Yeah, Matt, unfortunately, another multi-day severe weather situation unfolding across parts of the country. First, beginning with tonight, we're talking about a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. There could be hail, there could be damaging winds from northeastern Texas all the way up through parts of Illinois. Our greatest concern, though, by far, is what happens about 24 hours from now as we head into tomorrow evening. The Storm Prediction Center putting out a moderate risk of severe storms. You don't see that too often. That means violent tornadoes are a possibility in places like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Wichita. That enhanced risk extends extends off to the east into parts of the Ohio Valley by Sunday. In addition to tornadoes, by the way, there could be hail in excess of 4 inches in diameter in some of these locations. The severe weather risk, it lessens a little bit as this system approaches the East Coast, but it has a tremendous amount of moisture to work with. So there's an elevated risk of flash flooding, especially just along and north and west of the I-95 corridor, including some of the big cities, as we head into the day on Memorial Day. Matt?
Thank you, Jeff. 4-inch hail, something certainly to be concerned about. We move now to the horrific attack in Haiti. 2 American missionaries shot and killed by gang members in Port-au-Prince. Their murders just one day after President Biden and the president of Kenya unveiled a plan to send a UN-backed police force to Haiti. Here's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
Tonight, a deadly attack on American missionaries in Haiti's capital. Oklahoma-based Missions in Haiti says 23-year-old Davy Lloyd and his wife, 21-year-old Natalie, were ambushed and killed along with the group's Haitian director. The founder of the charity says he was on the phone with his son Davy and daughter-in-law for hours as the horror unfolded.
He's like, "Oh, Dad, I gotta go," because there's a bunch more guys coming in the yard.
The group holed up in the house, pleading for help, while the gang shot all the windows out of the house. Missions in Haiti unable to get them a police evacuation or to negotiate with the gang before losing contact.
He just wanted to take that revenge out on my son and daughter-in-law and Jude, from what I can tell.
Natalie Lloyd's father, Missouri State Representative Ben Baker, saying in a Facebook post, "My heart is broken in 1,000 pieces. I've never felt this kind of pain." This latest ambush coming just hours after President Biden hosted Kenya's president at the White House, saying the U.S. will lend support to a Kenyan-led security mission in Haiti.
This is a crisis. It's able to be dealt with.
And Selena Wang joins us now from the White House. Selena, you spoke with the president of Kenya. Tell us about the conversation.
Yeah, Matt, this was a wide-ranging conversation. It comes shortly after he had that state visit with President Biden. This is the first state visit of an African leader in more than 15 years. But it comes as he's facing a lot of questions and pushback back home in Kenya about how the country is going to be leading this multinational peacekeeping mission in Haiti. Take a listen to our conversation. And on the matter of security, Kenya is getting ready to send about 1,000 police officers to Haiti. Why is Kenya leading this mission?
Because we are a responsible global citizen. We have the requisite experience. We have participated in 47 countries making peace, keeping peace for the last 40 years. And because we believe the responsibility in Haiti is a shared responsibility. Every country that believes in freedom, democracy, self-determination would want peace everywhere in the world. And that is why Kenya is stepping forward to provide the leadership in Haiti. And we are working with many partners, many other police contributing countries, and many others who are contributing in different ways, like Canada, like the US, like others, who want to participate in this space because the women and children in Haiti deserve peace the same way the women and children in Kenya do.
A group of missionaries, including Americans, were killed in Haiti last night by gangs. Can the Kenyan forces stop that kind of violence?
Yes. We believe we have what it takes. We have the necessary experience. And we have built, as I talk to you, I have a team from Kenya in Haiti for the last 1 week doing an assessment of the capabilities that are available, the collaborations that are necessary. They have made contact. They have engaged with the Transitional Presidential Council. They have talked to the ministry responsible for security. They have had a conversation with the Inspector General of the police and the whole police leadership. And I think we have the best chance to deal with the gangs and to secure Haiti once and for all.
And what happens if the Kenyan police forces kill someone in Haiti? Would that be considered an extrajudicial killing?
We have a clear CONOPS, how the internationally benchmarked, standardized operations. We have the notes of operation, we have clarity, and we are going to deposit all instruments that will guide the operation of the multinational security support mission in Haiti, which meet UN standards. So we are operating under a UN mandate, and we will measure up to all the requirements on human rights, on handling of civilians. And our police are professionally trained, and they have participated in such missions before, and they have done a fantastic job, and I don't think this time is going to be an exception. We expect them to do a good job.
And Matt, I asked President Ruto why he believes this is going to be successful. There are no shortages of challenges, including understanding the terrain of Haiti and how the gangs operate and the language barriers. And on top of that, no African country has led a security mission outside of the continent ever. So this is a very, very big hurdle that he has to cross. But President Ruto, confident and adamant that they can do it. President Biden standing by him as well. Matt.
And that's a monumental challenge. Selena, thank you. Now to the news breaking late today about the health of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. The Pentagon late today said Austin is undergoing another medical procedure. Let's get right to ABC's senior national correspondent Terry Moran. And Terry, this all comes after a previous health scare that he kept secret.
That's right, Matt. This time it's different. So the Pentagon is telling us that tonight, Secretary Austin will undergo an elective and non-invasive procedure at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. They say it's related to the bladder issue that put him in the hospital back in January. This time, Austin has determined, as he did last time, that he will not be able to perform his functions and duties as Defense Secretary during the procedure, so he will temporarily turn over those authorities to his Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks. The President Biden, and Congress have both been notified of this transfer of authority. And as you note, that didn't happen the last time. He didn't tell even the President, and that secrecy drew widespread condemnation and criticism. Austin ultimately asking for forgiveness, apologizing to the President and to the country for his lack of transparency. I should add one more thing, which is the Pentagon is saying that Austin's prognosis on the cancer, the prostate cancer that he got surgery for, is, quote, excellent. Matt?
Terry, thank you. An American father was charged for bringing ammunition into Turks and Caicos. He was facing up to 12 years in prison, but instead, he's returning home to the U.S. after paying a fine. What this could mean for other Americans facing similar charges, here's Matt Rivers.
Tonight, Brian Hagerich headed home to Pennsylvania as a free man, racing through the airport in Turks and Caicos on his way to finally see his two children after spending 101 days on the islands, where he faced a possible 12-year prison sentence for having ammo in his luggage.
We're on the airplane.
A relieved Hagerich and his wife Ashley earlier today, after a judge gave him a suspended 52-week sentence and a $6,700 fine, allowing him to go free.
It's the best day.
God is so good.
Yes, all of our prayers have been answered.
Hagerich had pleaded guilty, saying he'd forgotten the ammo was in the bag when he went on vacation back in February. Still, the crime carried a minimum of 12 years in prison due to a strict new amendment to the island's firearms law. But the judge today finding exceptional circumstances in his case and determining that sentence to be unjust and disproportionate to the crime committed. Tonight, Hagerich and his wife say they will continue to advocate for the other 4 Americans accused of similar charges.
We've set some precedent today. Our work is not done until all of them get home.
They're our family. We love them, and we can't wait till they're reunited with their families.
We're all in this together.
Matt, thank you. In an overnight operation, Israeli troops recovered the bodies of 3 more hostages from Gaza. All 3 were killed during the October 7th terror attack. Israel believes more than 100 hostages are still being held in Gaza. This comes as the UN International Court orders Israel to immediately stop its military operation in Rafah in southern Gaza. ABC's Britt Clennett reports from Tel Aviv.
Tonight, the IDF announcing it conducted a nighttime raid to recover the bodies of 3 hostages taken by Hamas on October 7th. Special forces acting on Israeli intelligence to locate the bodies of Michelle Nissenbaum, Orion Hernandez Radu and Hernan Yablonka. Israeli officials say all 3 were killed during the attack, their bodies then taken to Gaza. It comes as the top UN court today ordered Israel to immediately cease all military operations in Rafah, citing imminent danger to civilians.
The court is not convinced that the evacuation efforts and related measures that Israel affirms to have undertaken are sufficient.
Strikes reported in Rafah today as that UN court met. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government today flatly rejecting that court ruling, saying in a statement Israel has not and will not carry out military activity in the Rafah area that creates conditions that could lead to the destruction of the Palestinian civilian population.
And Britt Clennett joins us now. Britt, as you reported, Israeli airstrikes have continued in the Rafah area even after that ruling. Are there any mechanisms the UN court can use to actually enforce a ceasefire?
Yeah, Matt, so it is legally binding, but despite its ruling, that UN court, it doesn't have any real way to enforce its order, instead having to rely on governments using tools like sanctions or arms embargoes to really press Israel into compliance. But it must be said, even though the court can't enforce this decision, today's ICJ ruling, it really does add to Israel's increasing isolation on the world stage, Matt.
Yeah, mostly symbolic ruling. Britt Clennett, thank you very much. Now to a groundbreaking moment that's sure to redefine college sports. For the first time ever, the NCAA agreeing to allow schools to directly pay student athletes for playing. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, for the first time, the NCAA agreeing to let student athletes get paid for playing, reaching a landmark revenue-sharing deal with the 5 largest athletic conferences that could profoundly change the college sports landscape. Under the proposed agreement, Division I athletes could receive payments as early as next year, with the NCAA allocating roughly $20 million annually for schools to distribute among athletes. It also includes a $2.8 billion settlement in damages open to any Division I athlete who played as far back as 2016 to be paid out over the next decade. It was just in 2021 that the NCAA first allowed athletes to earn money by selling their name, image, and likeness rights to advertisers.
The biggest charade in college sports for a number of years has been pretending like these are amateurs. The people that run the NCAA have tried to pretend it was something else, and today it finally caught up to them.
And Stephanie Ramos joins us now. Stephanie, what's the next step in the process here?
Well, this proposed agreement still needs to be approved by a federal judge in California. If it goes through, there are really still so many questions as to how schools will distribute payments to athletes and who gets how much, Matt.
And Stephanie Ramos, I'm sure you'll still be on that story. Thank you for joining us. To break this down further, we're joined now by Christine Brennan, ABC News contributor and columnist from USA Today. Christine, thank you as always for joining us. First, can you put into context for us why this settlement is such a landmark shift for the big business of college athletics?
Matt, because for years, for decades, student athletes were told they could not make a cent, no money. And this has been happening really over the last 10 years or so, where we've seen lawsuits, court rulings, state of California, other states saying, wait a minute, we want these athletes to be able to make money on their name, image, and likeness. And the dominoes have been falling really, Matt, over the last 10 years to this point of this unbelievable and cataclysmic change for athletes in college and for the actual structure of college sports.
Okay, so obviously a landmark shift for college sports, but might it have ripple effects beyond college sports? High school, for instance.
You know, that's it. I mean, there are millions and millions of young kids, boys and girls, playing high school sports. And it's great on one level because now there's money. You can get some money. They know that they're going to get potentially paid. The bad news is the confusion and the chaos. Among other things, there's the transfer portal, which means that you've got players leaving colleges and going to other colleges at all sports, not just football and men's basketball, but women's basketball and volleyball and everything else. And so then if you're a high school athlete being recruited, well, all of a sudden that spot you might have had, well, that was just taken by a transfer. I think also just the nature of the money and having money thrown at you. It sounds so great to have millions thrown at you as a 17 or 18-year-old. On the other hand, boy, oh boy, that's a confusing time in life.
Yeah, it's tremendous responsibility for somebody of that age. As we heard in Stephanie's reporting, the settlement would create a revenue-sharing plan for college athletic programs. How confident are you that this mechanism would ensure that smaller athletic conferences and women are compensated fairly?
One can imagine there will be a lot of lawsuits if there is not equity in paying the women as well as the men. I think that's something to watch, but it's pretty clear that the nation has fallen in love with Title IX in the wake of the women's basketball success. And I think we will see that moving forward. As far as the smaller schools and the conferences, there is real concern. Some of them don't have football, and yet they're going to be paying in to pay this big settlement. And I think you'll see some schools say, you know what, we just don't have the money to pay athletes, and they may pull back or they may cut sports. And you know what, if they're cutting a lot of those Olympic sports, Matt, men's and women's soccer, wrestling, water polo, golf, tennis, that can actually impact the U.S. Olympic effort, because those colleges are the feeder system for our Olympic effort.
Very interesting. So there has been this NCAA settlement, but this is hardly settled. Christine Brennan, thank you.
Matt, thank you very much.
Still much more to get to here on Prime. The popular singer arrested after a raid at his Florida mansion. But next, many rely on public transit in major American cities, but many of those transit systems have seen a surge of violence since the pandemic. And tonight, how Los Angeles hopes to curb crime and make commuters feel safe.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI. Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news. This weekend, it's time to sit back, binge, and feel the impact. Ruby Frankie.
The police find ropes, duct tape, handcuffs.
Scott Peterson.
If people look at the evidence in this case, they're going to see this crime isn't solved.
Andrew Tate.
We're not the first affluent, wealthy men who have been unfairly attacked.
OnlyFans.
How much do you make on OnlyFans versus, say, an episode on Sopranos? Oh, way more on OnlyFans.
Don't miss the Impact by Nightline binge Memorial Day weekend, streaming on ABC News Live. What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag.
Not a tear in it.
How important it made the USA. Great work.
Hi. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismael?
David.
David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
They call him the beauty queen killer. He's targeting young women in malls.
I am single. I want to enjoy the company of a member of women.
He tortured me.
How did she survive 9 days of terror?
The word accomplice came up. Nobody knows the real story.
The Beauty Queen Killer, only on Hulu.
The Sisters of Nicole Brown Simpson.
How do you live with 30 years of rage and heartbreak?
Their first TV interview in 30 years.
Our top story, the death of O.J. Simpson.
Did it change anything for you?
The horror they discovered their sister Nicole faced from her secret diaries and behind closed doors.
It was just frightening. I just wish that I had known more. My sister lived in hell.
The Diane Sawyer interview.
The pain doesn't go away.
Tuesday morning on GMA.
Los Angeles, like other major American cities, has seen a surge of violent crime on public transit since the pandemic. And with ridership returning in high numbers, LA transit officials are trying to figure out how to reduce crime and make commuters feel safe. Here's Erin Katursky with LA Metro's former head of security, who claims she was fired after she raised security and safety concerns.
An avalanche of headlines announcing violence on the Los Angeles Metro. They seem to come almost every week. A man stabbed on a bus. A security guard stabbed. Suspect fatally shot and killed.
The suspect pulled out a knife and was able to stab one of the security guards in the lower body.
And a grandmother fatally stabbed on a train in April, all in just 1 month, causing the transit agency's board of directors to declare a public safety emergency. Hundreds of bus operators called a sick-out following recent assaults while on the job. The mayor of Los Angeles says it must be addressed.
The spike in violent crime on Metro that we have recently seen against operators and riders has been absolutely unacceptable.
The mayor has directed an immediate surge of law enforcement onto the system, the second largest transit agency in the country, and one that has been besieged by violent crime since the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our number one job is for Angelenos across LA County to feel safe.
Gina Osborne, a former Army counterintelligence officer and career FBI agent, was hired in February 2022 to lead LA Metro security operations.
I do believe that LA Metro can get to a place where it is safe and it is secure, it is orderly. I can only tell you from my experience with LA Metro going back to 2022, anyone could do anything. Drugs on the system, sheltering on the system, it was a free-for-all.
Osborne was fired in March, 2 days after she filed a report with the agency's Inspector General's office, according to her attorney. The attorney said the report dealt with a safety issue.
I was really scrutinizing the performance of the law enforcement agencies and identifying issues that came up.
In response, LA Metro told ABC News in a statement that Metro does not comment on personnel matters. However, Ms. Osborne's allegations against Metro CEO Stephanie Wiggins are categorically false. Currently, Metro's police functions are performed by the LA Sheriff, LAPD, and Long Beach PD under contracts that cost the transportation agency around $200 million. Unlike other transit systems, the LAMTA does not have its own dedicated police force.
There has to be a culture within LA Metro where when you go onto the system, you have to behave in a certain way.
Osborne supports the establishment of an MTA police force to address issues specific to a transportation system. She argues that security would be improved while also saving the agency more than $35 million a year.
I mean, imagine being in your workplace right now and having somebody come and spit in your face. That is a traumatic experience. So when you ask, what's the difference between municipal policing and transit policing? The transit police officers, they know that it's a priority to get the people who are attacking or assaulting the bus operators off the system.
At Thursday's board meeting, CEO Stephanie Wiggins acknowledged the transit agency will reconsider the proposal for an in-house public safety department next month.
I'm just as frustrated as the public. Metro is a transit agency, not a social services agency.
While critics say policing does not get to the heart of the underlying issues, like people experiencing homelessness, those suffering from mental health, and often repeat violent offenders, Osborne told ABC News,
if you are going on to a transit system, you need to be there for the purpose of transportation.
Passenger Erin Mayfield said she takes the train weekdays to get to and from school.
I think there should be more guidelines in place that restricts some people from going on the train, because I've seen plenty of weapons on the train.
To Osborne, fare evasion is the first line of defense, even though the police and deputies who currently patrol the system do not deal with fare beating.
Not all fare evaders are criminals, but all criminals are fare evaders.
Osborne also stressed the system, as volatile as it is now, is nowhere near ready for the massive increase in ridership anticipated when Los Angeles once again hosts the Olympics in the summer of 2028. The games are being described as transit forward zones, according to Robert Gummer, the interim deputy chief of systems security and law enforcement at Metro. Gummer, who is a former Army officer, FBI agent, and was part of building the Global Security Operations Center for the NFL, told ABC News that Metro is focused on programs to increase not only law enforcement's physical presence, but also fare enforcement programs.
For this past year, we have seen successes, in lowering the amount of crime that's occurring in our system. But we still have a lot of work to do to improve that perception of safety for our employees and for our patrons. And the eyes of the world are on us, and we really have to really get that confidence there, while at the same time planning ahead and thinking about what infrastructure changes we need.
The LAMTA is receiving $900 million from the federal government to boost its infrastructure and fund new projects, including safety improvements.
I always say that I have seen the best of humanity and the worst of humanity working at LA Metro. The worst of humanity with the crime, and yet the best of humanity are those custodians, the transit security officers, the bus operators and rail operators. All of those people have the right to go to a workplace and feel safe.
Thank you, Aaron. On Thursday, LA Metro's board of directors voted to approve increases in the number of officers on the system, establish a unified command center connecting the Metro with local police departments, and ensure cell service is available at all Metro properties in an effort to curb violence and improve enforcement. And in a statement to ABC News late today, the Los Angeles County Council said Gina Osborne's claims were investigated and, quote, the allegations were not supported by the facts, end quote. Still much more to get to. Chinatowns around the U.S. are vanishing. What's leading shops to close and how some business owners are finding new ways to make money. But next, is the cost of college actually worth it? We're diving deeper into the debate in By the Numbers.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions. Operational nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love it.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
David, good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. Whenever news breaks,
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
I experienced a lot of heartache. I'm a tough woman, but it's not easy. You're gonna feel lonely. It's taken me a really long time to even get to this moment.
And the CMA Award for
Entertainer of the Year
goes to
Lainey Wilson.
That was a mic drop.
The Entertainer of the Year, baby!
I do see the bell bottoms and the hat as my superhero outfit.
Wild Horses.
This weekend, it's time to sit back, binge, and feel the impact. Ruby Frankie,
The police find ropes, duct tape, handcuffs.
Scott Peterson,
If people look at the evidence in this case, they're gonna see this crime isn't solved.
Andrew Tate,
We're not the first affluent, wealthy men who have been unfairly attacked.
OnlyFans.
How much do you make on OnlyFans versus, say, an episode on Sopranos? Oh, way more on OnlyFans.
Don't miss the Impact by Nightline Binge Memorial Day weekend, streaming on ABC News Live. Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, Afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
I'm Matt Rivers, traveling with the U.S. Secretary of State in Beijing, China. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
College graduation is a time of hope and excitement for what the future holds. But for many, that future includes years of debt, which leads to the question, is a college education worth its cost? The folks at the Pew Research Center looked into it. Here's what they found by the numbers. The share of young men with a high school diploma who are working has held stable at 87% in recent years. That follows decades of declines. For comparison, employment for young men with at least a 4-year degree has remained nearly stable at 94% over the decades. For non-college young women, employment fell sharply after 2000. Just 69% are now working, while 87% of college-educated young women are in the workforce. But let's break down those numbers a bit more. As for earnings, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports young workers with a high school diploma made $853 a week in 2022, while those with a bachelor's degree averaged $1,432 a week. But then consider the cost of that degree. An average of about $10,600 for in-state tuition at a public university, or more than $41,000 for private schooling. According to U.S. News and World Report, to cover the cost, 30% of all adults say they took out loans for their education, according to the Federal Reserve, and the cost of those loans is going up. This summer, the interest rates are rising to more than 6.5%, an all-time high. In that Pew study, less than half, 47% of people polled felt a degree is only worth the cost if you can do it without going into debt. And much more ahead here on Prime. Inside the life of Michael McDonald, we have a look at the new book that takes readers on the Grammy Award winner's ride to success. Plus, meet the pioneering aviator taking her final flight after breaking barriers and soaring to unprecedented heights.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed.
Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas,
Edinburgh, Scotland.
from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City.
Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation. You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. Raleigh, North Carolina.
The U.S. Capitol.
Mayfield, Kentucky. Minneapolis.
Mexico.
Tongass National Forest, Alaska. Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news. This weekend, it's time to sit back, binge, and feel the impact. Ruby Frankie.
The police find ropes, duct tape, handcuffs.
Scott Peterson.
If people look at the evidence in this case, they're going to see this crime isn't solved.
Andrew Tate.
We're not the first affluent, wealthy men who have been unfairly attacked.
OnlyFans.
How much do you make on OnlyFans versus, say, an episode on Sopranos?
Oh, way more on OnlyFans.
Don't miss the Impact by Nightline binge Memorial Day weekend, streaming on ABC News Live. Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
The Sisters of Nicole Brown Simpson.
How do you live with 30 years of rage and heartbreak?
Their first TV interview in 30 years.
Our top story, the death of O.J. Simpson.
Did it change anything for you?
The horror they discovered their sister Nicole faced from her secret diaries and behind closed doors.
It was just frightening. I just wish that I had known more. My sister lived in hell.
The Diane Sawyer interview.
The pain doesn't go away.
Tuesday morning on GMA. Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Start here.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Make it your daily first listen, wherever you get your podcasts.
An airboat ride ends in chaos. A singer is arrested following a raid at his Florida mansion, and her final flight, United Airlines' first black female pilot, says goodbye to the skies. These stories and more in tonight's rundown.
A police chase in Southern California ended in a standoff on an Anaheim highway that backed up traffic for miles. Police said the suspect was a 40-year-old man who was thought to have been armed. Police vehicles surrounded the car on the freeway. 2 nearby schools were placed on lockdown. SWAT teams responded and sandwiched in the suspect's car. It started when police tried to pull over the man in a stocking case. An airboat crash on a canal in Florida sent 8 people to the hospital, according to officials. A local sheriff said the airboat was carrying 10 people when it crashed into a sand dune. 2 people had minor injuries as a result of the collision. Florida wildlife officials and the U.S. Coast Guard are investigating what caused the crash. The house of a beloved dog walker in San Francisco was burnt down after allegedly receiving racist packages targeting the owner. Terry Williams told officials that his elderly parents were trapped inside his home during the blaze. Both were able to make it out of the house. They were taken to a nearby hospital for their injuries. Locals set up a GoFundMe to support Williams after getting multiple racist packages sent to his home. Officials say they're investigating the cause of the fire. Sean Kingston was arrested in California after a raid on his mansion in South Florida. Investigators saying they booked Kingston on multiple fraud and theft charges. The rapper's mother was also taken into custody on fraud charges in Florida. His attorney said he's aware of the allegations and looks forward to addressing them in court.
I'm grateful for all of you in my life. I'm happy that I have retired, though.
United Airlines' first black female pilot has taken her final flight. Teresa Claiborne was the company's first ever black female pilot. She was hired 34 years ago. Before that, she was the first black female pilot in the U.S. Air Force. Claiborne logged over 23,000 flight hours during her career. Her final flight, a nonstop transatlantic flight from Portugal to the airline's hub in Newark, New Jersey. A group of tortoises gradually raced to the finish line at the Indianapolis Zoo. The 45th annual Zoopolis 500 is billed as the greatest spectacle in tortoise racing. The tortoises were shown off to the crowd before embarking on a sluggish yet nail-biting race to the finish line. The winning tortoise, named Helio, beat out all of the others and was rewarded with the first bites of a fruit platter that was soon enjoyed by the rest of the crawling contestants.
Chinatowns around the U.S. are slowly disappearing as small family businesses get priced out after years of economic headwinds. But the WOW Project is working with the community to help preserve New York City's Chinatown culture through art and activism.
Finger traps. They were the best. Then we had soup spoons, porcelain soup spoons, slippers, pajamas, jewelry, some robes, some porcelain, ginger jars, vases, and figurines.
Ting's gift shop is it's such a special place. It's on the corner of Doyers and Hell.
I grew up going to Ting's as a kid, and on my lunch breaks I would go to Ting's and start to pick out things that I really loved.
On the inside, Grandma had the store packed. Anywhere she can find a space, she had something. Every space was used. My mother was very creative. She liked to make little shelves on shelves or extend the shelving. And now it's bare. I need to return the shop to the landlord, so it's bare.
Chinatowns around the U.S. are slowly disappearing as small family businesses get priced out after years of economic headwinds. The pandemic lockdown and anti-Asian hate only made things worse.
I think I knew this at a very young age. I was going to take over, but nobody anticipated the pandemic to happen.
From 2019 to 2021, Chinatown in Manhattan lost 26% of its jobs, 12% more than the New York City average. Ting's gift shop recently closed its doors after 66 years of business.
We opened January 1958, and my parents ran the shop. It was fantastic. You get to play with everything. I was quality control.
best job in the world. I was always here, so I would help out after school. But pretty much, yeah, mom used to, stay in the evening while grandma and I went home to make dinner. But for the most part, this was grandma. This was just totally grandma.
What do you think she would think about the store closing?
Oh my God, it's about time. She did say that times are not the same. 50 years ago and today, it's just totally different. Everything's different.
Ting was just one of many small family businesses in Chinatown, where 94% of operations have less than 20 employees and face a unique set of problems. An organization called Welcome to Chinatown has studied these issues and is working to help businesses with these challenges.
Manhattan's Chinatown has been built on entrepreneurial spirit and immigrant grit, and that is representative through our small businesses. A lot of these legacy business owners are close to or past their retirement age, and we don't want to lose these legacy businesses because they've really shaped the cultural fabric of Manhattan's Chinatown. In Chinatown, they've done such a good job of achieving the American dream. They've been able to send their children to school to be able to be the lawyers, the doctors, the industries that were really seems well respected. So that makes succession planning particularly difficult because that means that that next generation may not have the desire, or it doesn't make sense for them to go on and take on the business. When we start to lose these legacy businesses, I think we're losing a part of Chinatown.
But there are some exceptions. One of the oldest stores in Chinatown has found a way to stay open despite almost closing 8 years ago, thanks to its fifth-generation owner.
Wing On Mo has been in the neighborhood since 1890. It was started by my great-great-grandfather, and as a child, I came here every day after school, and I had Chinese lessons with my grandfather, ran into the back kitchen and had an after-school snack with my grandmother, and being away for college and living abroad in China and Southeast Asia, I found out from my dad that they had decided they wanted to sell the building and shutter the shop, and trying to understand my family's situation at that time allowed me to understand that letting go of the shop actually would contribute to a larger political context in Chinatown around gentrification and displacement and the acceleration of longtime businesses shuttering, longtime residents being displaced. We would be part of that cycle and that ecosystem, and I really wanted to explore what that would mean for me to take over and in my own way intervene in this process. We started to think about this shop storefront space as something that could be very different than what exists now, but also harken back to how storefronts operated in Chinatown's beginnings. The way that Wing On Mo operated during that time, I think, was very much a community space. Folks came in and out of the shop to catch up, to hear the talk of the town, and that's something that I think a lot about in how we continue to hold community here at Wing On Mo, and how we're thinking about a storefront and its contributions to a community and a neighborhood beyond the confines of just pure economic exchange.
After taking over the store, May co-founded the WOW Project, which works with the community to help preserve Chinatown's culture through art and activism.
The things that we are really attuned to here at Wing On Mo and the WOW Project is cultural displacement and thinking about how culture disappears by the displacement of people. And a lot of us have been here generations and see our stores as more than just stores, right, in the community. And I think we share that with Tings as well, with Eleanor. I'm really excited to see how they will continue to stay in relationship with the neighborhood and to think about how their legacy goes beyond space.
Well, a lot of people ask if we're gonna open up another brick and mortar. It's hard. Rent is very, very expensive. It's mostly gonna be pop-ups when we can figure out when and where and how. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for tonight.
So since late last year, we've hosted 3 pop-ups with Tings, and most recently we hosted this farewell to their physical location pop-up. And that went really well. They made enough sales in that one pop-up and more than what they've been able to do in a month. So it really shows like that love and admiration that the community has to like show up for a business that holds such a special place in people's hearts.
It's difficult. It really is. 66 years is not chump change. And I've been here from day one. And I've enjoyed every second of it.
That smile. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and platinum singer and songwriter Michael McDonald and his friend, Emmy Award-nominated actor Paul Reiser, have written a new book, What a Fool Believes, a memoir. It tells the story of McDonald's life and music. Ike Ajashi sat down with the duo.
I can't thank you guys enough for doing this. I just got to ask you, how does it feel? The memoir is released. What's going through your mind right now?
We've been working up to this day, but then to have it all of a sudden, this is official, and here we are in New York talking about a book that's actually released, is kind of exciting and scary.
When we started it, it was really a lark. I sort of said half jokingly, "You should write a book. You've done so much." And I always felt I was a big fan of Mike's, and before we got to be friends, and I still didn't know his trajectory. I didn't even know he was from St. Louis. I don't know the story.
My biggest fear was during the course of it, I would express that to him quite often, was, is there really a story here?
There's so much in the book that's Mike's personal story and his challenges and his insecurities and his wild ride with drugs and alcohol. But in there is also these stories that really paint the picture of what was it like in the 70s, that music scene, and all these guys that we all know from later, like they were just playing in bar bands and, and randomly, hey, we need a bass player, and suddenly we need a keyboard guy. All right, guess what? You're a Steely Dan. There's a beautiful story through the book of Mike and his wife Amy and how they cross paths, and it's not going to happen. It's not. Oh, now it does, and it's like silly accidents. That could have been the title.
That's a funny question you asked, because I was wondering about that title. I mean, it could have been Silly Accidents. It could have been Minute by Minute. Why did you land on What a Fool Believes, out of all the names that you could have possibly chosen for this memoir?
Well, the more we wrote on the book, the more it seemed like a good title. At first, I didn't like the title.
He was against it.
I was against it. I thought, that's too obvious,
Yeah.
But Paul, kept reassuring me, no, this is a good title. And as we wore on, even when we got all the way to the audible reading of the book, it hit me even more that, oh yeah, that's a good title for this book, because it is what it's about.
I've noticed you refer to him as Mike, which is a name that you went by long before the Doobie Brothers
Pretty much
days.
everyone knew me as Mike.
Mike, right.
Yes.
Well, it's funny, sorry, in the book that on his first day with the Doobie Brothers, they introduced him as Michael. And Mike was, all right. And then the next day, the newspaper said, and newcomer Michael McDonald. And suddenly, you got named by strangers.
Yeah, I was renamed. I mean, in Steely Dan, I was Mike, and Donald still calls me Mike.
So I got to ask you, how did this duet come together to write this memoir?
We had met years ago, just coincidental at a private event that I was invited to and Mike was performing at. And I was a huge fan. I just introduced myself, and so we became friends. And then it was over the years, as I said, I would ask all these questions until I jokingly said, you really should write a book.
Well, I got to say, after reading this memoir, it's brutally honest. I mean, Michael, you go through all your career highlights, the highest of the highs, to even a lot of the low parts. I mean, you get into there with alcoholism, substance abuse, the drugs. How important was it to write not only about those careers highs, but some of those low moments too?
I don't think we really could have written my memoir without that. I mean, it was just such a part of my life, The worst things that happen to us inevitably wind up being the best things that ever happened to us. I don't know how that works, but it always does.
It's hard to imagine. You're right. You decided to write a memoir not going there, because it would have been just fluff. But Mike's nature is, he's the least superficial guy. He's just very wildly honest and humble and transparent. And so I always felt really touched and moved that he would, share with me, that he trusted me to help him sculpt this.
Now, I got to ask you, Michael, this memoir, it covers so much ground from your early days at Ferguson, Missouri, obviously all the way to your peak fame. What was the most rewarding part to highlight and actually write about?
My early relationships with people, good or bad, you know, I mean, I felt like those really were biggest influences on my life later, you know. From landing in California, having to go home a couple times, or, you know, because I ran out of money or whatever, you know, and then hitching a ride because a friend of mine happened to be passing through town on the way to California. All that stuff, you know, and then eventually, you know, stepping onto the stage of the Grammys, you know, was, you know, really surreal to me, you know.
What's one thing you want people to take out of this book?
Whew. You know, I think, well, there are really two things, but one is they're done and now they know Michael McDonald a little better, somebody that you've listened to, and every time he comes on the radio, you go, I love this guy. I don't know anything about him. Well, now you do. But also in there is, oh, I relate to this guy, and there's a reason we've loved this guy, because I get his story now, and it sounds somewhat like things we've all gone through.
Yeah, for me, I think the two things that the component of the addiction component of the story, I think people, if nothing else, who are battling with that presently, realize the one thing that was important to me was I'm not alone. And just my message of being an addict in recovery without, you know, aligning myself with any institution or organization. It's just my story. And don't sweat the small stuff, you know, because even when things fall apart, there's always a door opening somewhere, you know. And I think that's probably hopefully the message I put out there, you know.
Plus a very funny story about getting heckled out of opening for Cher.
Yes. So there's that too.
There is that aspect.
Here you go. Read the book.
All right.
And don't sweat the small stuff. The name of your next album.
Yeah, maybe so.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it
so much, man.
Really appreciate it. It's phenomenal talking to you.
Appreciate it.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Our thanks to Ike. What a Fool Believes, a memoir, is in stores now. That's our show for this hour. I'm Matt Gutman. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. Thanks for streaming with us.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, Afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming.
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our Combat Operations Center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions. Operational nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
David, good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
I watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
When
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News live weeknights